When they were coming, they said they were liberators. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they came their time, it is their mind. When they came their time, it is their mind. What kind of people they so? What kind of people they so? Freedom fighter, you raping our country. Freedom fighter, you killing our children. Freedom fighter, you destroying our country.
So what is going on Revolution is not a law. So they will not be part of the
I want to rescue one. Do you think that brother believes that many years ago you would be able to rescue?
When they were coming, they said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. When they keep their time, they change their mind. When they keep their time, they change their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you killing our children.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you destroying our country.
They are freedom fighters.
Oh, yes, indeed. What a great day. What a wonderful opportunity it feels to be back behind these microphones.
When they were coming, they said they were
to engage on the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development.
when they keep their time,
And our job and contributions are never tied to the approval of anybody.
what kind of people they so?
It's rather the passion for humanity, fairness, justice,
The freedom fighter,
equality
our women.
They are freedom fighters.
The freedom fighter, you killing our children.
that gives us the motivation
Freedom fighter,
to come here each and every other day,
Freedom fighters.
January to December,
you.
engaging in some of the fiercest discourses. All geared towards driving a conversation that inspires nationalism, patriotism, knowledge about governance, about politics, about rights, freedom, and all of that. So when the year closes, we draw to the end of the year, We are celebrated by the level of impact, the level of education, the level of exposure that we've made that counts greatly. So your action could be designed to demoralize and discourage us, but unfortunately, you are making mistakes because we are here for good. We are here till that kingdom comes. Good morning, good morning, good morning to our friends, our fans, and our followers. Good morning to those of you in the diaspora. It has been an interesting calendar year filled with the ups and the downs, the good and the bad, the positives and the negatives. It has been a wonderful time together right here on the big station. The big station, the big I must listen to breakfast conversation. The Freedom Money Rise on Freedom FM 87.9 as we draw the curtain on the 2025 edition of the presentation to recommence in 2026. Oh yeah. This morning we are going to be looking at some of the issues that have popped up lit on the menu for the year. We will assess some of the points that's been raised as it relates to the 2026 draft budget and other illegal transfers that's been happening under the watch of Augustine P. Gafford. These are the means and model through which they've designed to steal from the Liberian people. It's important that talk about that, looking at some of the Raila has been published or released by Bapulu Senator Amara Corner and other critical budget analysts. Look at the citizens' action on yesterday. It was a great day. It was a successful occasion. Kudos to all of the men, the women, the young people who defy the intimidation, defy the harassment, challenge killing. They stood up to the dictators, stood up in the faces of the narcissists and express your feelings, express your thoughts about how issues are in the country. That is the most successful part of it all. As many were fragile and intimidated, came out there. That was patriotism. That was courage. That's what a real nation needs. These are the kinds of men and women that drives a progressive society. The oppressors should never ever be made to feel like they have won or they are in charge. They have succeeded in silencing everybody. So even if it is 5 human beings that's able to stand up in a defiant, successful manner. Imagine the success of instilling panic in the entire city for the entirety of yesterday. That was a great success. For well over 6 to 8 hours, Monrovia was at a standstill. Oh yes, you say the crowd was not many, but the crowd, as little as they were, they succeeded in disrupting normal activities. The president ran away. At 12 May Day, the president was on his way to his house. He left the mansion. He escaped the Liberian people. It was not a normal day. So staying was successful. The young men and women were successful. We like to congratulate their courage. We like to congratulate their fortitude to stand up to dictatorship, to stand up to misrule, to stand up to intimidation, to stand up to human rights violations, human rights abuses. My name is Abu Sharif, and it's always a good thing to be here speaking on behalf of the people, for the people. Today being Thursday, another chance, another opportunity to win cash right here on *255 *1 hash there. Of course, so yeah, that is it. *255 *1 hash. Welcome to all of our friends. Yesterday, I'm told the Liberian Broadcaster Award ceremony also took place late in the evening, and so awards went out, and I also heard that the Press Union of Liberia issued another statement distancing itself from the event and all of that, the Broadcasters Award. So I don't know. I'm here still thinking. I will talk to the president later, and I don't know whether it has to be approved by the Press Union of Liberia before an organization can begin the process of evaluating the performances of media practitioners, and by their own standard and the standard of professional ethics and all of that, begin to reward or award or identify outstanding performers, right? Should that be subjected to the approval of the Press Union of Liberia, or does that in any way interferes with the union's own desire, if that's what she wants to do, to organize its own, award ceremony? Say this award ceremony is organized with the Press Union of Liberia. Okay, one could argue to some extent it will make some sense as well if the organizers equally enjoying the blessings of the union, being the mother institution, the presence of the union's leadership at the event gives some degree of, should I say credibility or whatever, but sometimes it says that it is happening, in an atmosphere that has no resentment. But that's a whole conversation. We'll keep looking at it. But kudos, congratulations to the folks that were awarded, right? And those that won, even those that did not, but were part of the nominating categories. Congratulations to them. And understanding how society is structured, a lot of things could have played in the those in power being extremely anti to a certain group of people, a certain voice and all of that in the country, and the organizers themselves lacking financial independence and all of these things. So there are always small rooms for manipulation, political and financial manipulations. But any which way, we like to say bravo to the spirit of the organizers. It was a great thing in the face of all of these, especially attaching faces like ours on such a thing, doing such a time and all of that. But anyway, at least that is behind us now. Good morning, Higa.
Good morning, Abu. Good morning to Liberians following us. It's good. We are back here and grateful to God for the gift of life. to be here this morning is something very good. And we are climaxing, I'm sure we are climaxing today political conversations or political appearances on this very long journey. Many never thought that we would have reached this far. But yes, God has kept us and we are here
Yeah,
grateful.
yeah, they may not make it. And we are.
Yeah.
It was
We
surprising,
are here
man,
grateful.
who
So,
man,
so
not make it.
beginning January, we are going to, hopefully by the grace of God, we are going to be commencing another 12 months of our advocacy for Liberians. But the reason we decided to take this break is to just give you people the opportunity so you can sit back and know our importance. Because so now when we see that here, they say when we see that here too much and all of that, many of you don't know the level of advocacy that we carry on for you. You don't know. So you just sit back and observe our absence. You look at you sit and look at the amount of lies that will be told to you guys. You look at the things that will happen and it will just go under the carpet because we are not here to dig out these things. Mind you, our advocacy has contributed immensely to the growth and progress of this country. But yet many of you feel like it should not be appreciated. But let's take this break so you can see and understand why it is important for us to be here. So we are grateful. We are going to be climaxing this year under God's control, and we are good. We okay that we're back here. And in fact, as always, let's see if we can give you money. This morning, you can pick up your Lone Star MTN mobile money phone. Even if you get your money, your orange now, you can get leader, you transfer it to your mobile money, your Lone Star mobile money. And then you dial star 255 star 1 hash, star 255 star 1 hash, and then you enter the currency you want to play from. But every time you play is $50 Liberian dollars. If you are playing from your Liberian dollars account, every time you want to play from your US dollar account is 25 cents. And just by doing so, you stand a chance right here to win cash prize of up to 10,000. You can win 5,000 or 10,000 plus a bag of rice, and it's up to you. Let's see what you do between now to at least 8:15, and then we start giving out money to you this morning.
Yes, indeed. So that's exactly what it is. So it was an interesting scene yesterday. But look, generally it has been a roller coaster for the period 2025. It has been daring. The courage to come here consistently, and has not just happened, and like anyone would think is a normal thing. It has been an attitude of defiance. It has been an attitude of boldness, courage to do this. You all know the atmosphere in our country today, right? Even the rich, the super rich, are suffering and are being brought down to their bellies, to their knees, right? To repressive, government approaches and all of that. So you can imagine young people electing to be civil rights advocates in a country where we are going several miles backward in terms of gains on fundamental rights and all of that. And then when I listen to people who have always been known as independents and objective advocates trying to pacify what is happening in the country today, and I'm left bewildered. So yesterday evening I was driving home, and then I listened to Julius' show. It was quite an interesting conversation, Higa.
Mhm.
So this man calling Jonathan Pelele, so that you can understand. And I like Liberians to always take cue on these attempts, these new, positions that people are making, and be able to retrospect a little bit and all of that. So a caller called from the U.S., Patrick Soar, and made a point I think this will slide us into the conversation about what happened with the protests, because there's a basic education that needs to happen around it. That technically a democratic protest does not need the whole country to come out. Not necessarily. That's not how democracy defines protest, right? And the nomenclature of a protest, right, does not definitely or means that that has to be the ultimate objectives that will be garnered out of it. No, but it is about projecting the bitterness of the people in a stronger way. It's a literary, conveyance of what the people are actually trying to stand up for. So when somebody say lead or leave, right, they're radically drawing your attention to the errors in leadership, right? That is tantamount to vacating the office or the responsibilities and duties of leading. So then you get reminded that, look, on account of these open derails from the actual substance of governance, it's either you choose to lead in those areas or you leave because your actions are tacit abandonment of the will of the people. So these kinds of small educations are important. But let me go back to what Pilady said, and I found it very disingenuous, right? But from his tone, you understand that this is a man who feel like, oh, this is our time. So it doesn't matter, right? Whatever happens, he is programmed to accept that the fact that this is his time is okay. Once it is his time, it's okay. Because then wasn't his time, it was bad. So now that it is our time, so it's okay. So here's what Patrick Soar basically said. Patrick said that the number of people that come for the protest doesn't matter, and the protest is successful because the message and all that. Just to paraphrase, then the main one I want to talk about called this quote unquote so-called a BBC reporter called in. These were the people that created the chaos. Some of these people need to repent because the quality of reports that they gave out during the war period accounted for the loss of life because they were compromised. The realities are coming, and we're not going to be afraid to say it. But look, the real time will come. Some of these folks will confess. We're seeing the country is getting to know them now. So as they're drawing to retirement, you want to come for something else in the country. Right? If you think you're proud of your work and your service to the country as a BBC reporter, right? Put your hand up for something in this town and see whether you get it. So the man said, Patrick should be honest to himself and see whether Liberia today, right, is not better than 2 years ago. So then, and when you're doing these kinds of comparative analysis, and that's what many people need to understand, you don't do it in a vacuum. You don't just jump. When you do that, then you're using feelings. And in logic, feeling is not reasoning. How you feel, your belief is not reasoning. They are not facts. They're subjective. So you have to apply scientific approaches to establishing measurable data that can suffice in a reasonable or logical comparative analysis or conversations that make sense. So if a man like Jonathan Pilady comes to the public discourse and relies squarely on his feeling, how he feels now, because relatively, somebody could feel today is better than yesterday because of their own personal feelings, which is subjective. Assuming, which is obvious, somebody did not have a particular opportunity. For example, let's look at Cooper passed away. No matter how the country looks, Cooper feels the country is better today than then. Because you see what is happening with Cooper today, right? You see what is happening with Emmanuel Farr. He's no longer toting cameras, standing in water to video and photo Darius Dillon. He's a boss of his own. So you see, that is That is why feelings are not the best measurement, right, to determine. So what do you rely on? You rely on data. You rely on economic and reports, macroeconomic reports. So these are the ones you look at. So if I see the man go there, the man should have been telling us this, and you say the man should just look at his mere feeling and say, oh, yeah, I think the way I feel. So somebody who's been denied the arrest today, right? Somebody who's been denied the arrest today, who obviously feel like things are worse than what they were when his rights were being, respected. But on the overall, scientific and institution with the requisite capacity conducting and coming out with a report to say this is what it is, and then you compare that to reports of the past and what they were, then you're able to make a conclusion. MCC comes out, MCC tells us that the macroeconomic condition of our country is worse, right? They doing business. The investment climate report comes out and presents a dangerous picture of how things are in Liberia today. But Pelele say we should rest on his feeling, how he feel, because he feels like today is okay, so that means it's actually okay. But you see, the independent evaluators that are using scientific approaches to determine, right, the goodness or badness of the economic life and reality of Liberians today are now relying on their feelings and how they feel, what they prefer. So these measurements are not based on that. It is absolutely erroneous for anybody to sit in their corner and just merely declare that, oh, and 2 years. So you have to present the facts. You have to present the data. The human rights report are dangerous compared to what they were. In keeping with democratic human rights requirements and credentials, the government is failing. Right? Count the number of police shooting. You think these people who chase you in the police are shooting are not human beings? Pelele can say that if the victims of the King George killings were one of his children. Pelele would not say that. Never. The fellow who died in who was shot multiple times in Congo town, if that was Pelele's relative, his brother or somebody, he would not say that. Right? Obviously, he would not say that. But they can say it now on mere sentiments because they were opposed to the past regime and now they feel okay with this regime and they are unwilling to identify the very excesses that they were pointing out some times ago. And he's not the only person. We've seen some of them revert to silence. This Samuka Corner guy that used to be all on social media and trying to show himself and act like he's some kind of a scholar or some kind of authority in journalism in Liberia. Where's the voice? Don't we pass by the excesses of the police in the traffic today? Can he see the violations and the brutality that the police are carrying out? This was the guy who used to be going live in traffic. They say, oh, the traffic jam, and blame all of that to leadership failure and police failure. So we will call them out. We will call them out because consistency is important. But when you go into silence, you have to explain why you're going into silence. But again, that's how the society is programmed. That's how things are like today. And it is enormously people that will insist on standing for the right things and remaining consistent in the radical push towards the government. Because No matter what. For how long are they going to keep doing this? Go to the Ministry of Finance, and the people are having the protests, and I see some journalists that we've not seen on protest scene before go there, and you don't know why they were there. You don't know that they were planted to, at the end of the day, in the evening, call on radio show and take away from the protest. If you independent journalists start to call and start to make utterances like the journalists that were present on the scene were more than the protester, what are you doing? What are you doing? So whoever pay you to go there, you've only lived up to whatever they pay you for.
In the minds of the regime puppets and surrogates, these are the independent journalists. These are the most credible and I should say respected journalists for them, because these are individuals who dance to the winds and caprice of the legislature. Let's say of the regime, in fact, the entire government. So if you find people like them going out of protesting and trying not to elevate the genuine core of the protesters, but instead say the media practitioners or the journalists that were the protesters, it is trying to take away what the reality is. The reality is people, workers at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not foreign but finance, are concerned that the government is owing them and refusing to pay. Those workers are concerned that there are bad labor practices at the Ministry of Finance and nothing is being done. These are the concerns. These are the genuine issue for which those individuals gather. So whether it was one person, like in the case of Archie Pompon, who set himself at blame, happened because he wanted to prove that there was something happening that needed attention. So for the regime, these are the independent journalists. And Abu, I think I sent you a message. You know, sometimes we like to keep, because of our respect and relationship, we like to keep quiet on, or just respect that kind of that level of relationship between us and some individuals. But they will look and sit in their right minds and say to you, Abu, that the country is better off than it was before. Just as you said, these are individuals who, like in the case of Emmanuel Faye, who came from absolutely nothing. We're not saying this to maybe for somebody to feel like we envy him, no. But the fact is, Emmanuel Faye, comparing what his life was before to what it is now, Emmanuel feel that the country is improving, the country is better. Because he's somebody who could not afford even donor for himself in a day. But now he's getting money that far beyond what he ever thought. So for him, the country is safe. And like, these are people who feel like, yeah, they're getting what they want. So in their own mind, the country is safe. But if you want to know whether the country is safe and moving forward, Abu, leave today and go in the red light market. Today in red light, there are more sellers than buyers. I was just coming this morning, a lady and I were having this conversation. And she was like, she's a marketer in red light. She was like complaining that people weren't buying. So as early as 6:45, 6:50, before when I used to be in red light, when I used to get to red light around that hour, Abu, red light would be partly empty. But today, 6:55, let's say 6:30, red light is packed more than let's say more than it was before. So
because
people are
selling last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yes.
Let me just go hustle.
So even with the hustle that these people are hustling, Abu, they are not still getting what they want. Why am I saying this? How can you leave your home in the morning, go to sell, spend the entire day there, and don't even have one or two person coming to buy from you. Abu, let's put this in our shoe. We were working. You leave from your home every morning, you go to work. You go for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4, 5 months, and you're not taking pay. What will run to your mind? There is no reason for me to work. And then you start to get that brain drain. You start feeling tired. What the essence of me using my transportation to come to work and when I can't take pay? So what the essence of those people leaving from their homes to go red light or go to various markets when people are not buying? Because the very people that are supposed to buy, people who they used to call before and get something from them, they are not getting it. So as a result, all of them are constrained to use their 1,000, 2,000 to buy auction things, and all of them jump into red light. So the people that used to buy the hair before from those who were selling hair, they themselves are selling hair today. The people that used to buy the dresses, the trousers, the children's clothes, they themselves are selling today because they don't have it. And that's the reality. Abu, there's a write out on Freedom FM Facebook page from a diaspora Liberian who, Abu, the connection that Liberians had with their finance, the country's resources, has broken. Before, at that time of the year, Abu, contribution, making donations to organizations, religious communities. You could see people giving rest, giving handouts to people, disabled in the street. By this hour, by this time, Abu, they've gotten bag of rice or maybe 10,000 plus bag of rice and other cooking utensil. But today, as we speak, nothing of such is happening. Not that the money is not there, but the very few government officials are stealing the money that is there for the country. They are stealing it. And because they pass around with lies before and fake propaganda against the CDC and these government officials, they're stealing the money. But they don't want you to feel like they are stealing because they feel like coming to give you rest now with 2,000 or 1,000, coming to identify with you now, maybe to start thinking that they may now used to do it. Why are you doing it now? So it means like you will understand that they are stealing your resources. So as a result of that, they are stealing only for them and their families. Go in their various homes. Many of them, what they want to eat for the Christmas, they already got it. What they want to eat for the Christmas, they already got it. Many of them, even in the worst case, when there is no LEC to their homes, they will get their generator running for 24 hours without nothing without them losing anything. You know why it's happening like that? Because they are at the hem of power now.
So you know what they say? Because we're not seeing public officials making donations or extending assistance in the community, that means there's a responsible government in place. And when it happened then, when public officials decided to be caring, go in the community and share their meager salaries to tap into other people, they were childish. Okay, that's okay. Since the society is playing into that, that's the image they try to paint. But now the thing is, for example, like we've always asked, what is the direct intervention that this government has made in any sector in this country that you say you know that this is what they've done? Aside from delivering on system and programs that were already in the pipe and of course in progress, and then the outcome of those you see, and you say, for example, the electricity. Even the guy who is at the LEC now have himself admitted and credit. This is a government that saw 2 years of its time impacted by a deadly virus that held the whole world hostage, the COVID. Such has not even happened. They will want to excuse their 12 years with an Ebola that was just right here between Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Now, what the contributing factor to stability in electricity today. The CLSG, compared to what they were before, right, got fully completed, taken from around 10% and completed during the WIA era. So if WIA had not done anything in electricity, the CLSG will not be here today. It would have been stuck to where it was. Then you come and take it from there. Let's see if you're going to take 2 years to take CLSG from where we are made and brought it in 2 years, you're going to get stable electricity today. How some of you can argue like your mind, your power, you don't get here, you don't get brain. You're using other people's brain. Right? So the generating capacity of the country, let's assess what it was when CDC left. And what new has the government added that you say, oh, this new addition, this new power source is responsible for why current has become stable than it was. The people put the infrastructure in place, routed the resources, built and expanded electricity, right? Connections were on the increase while they left. You've made no direct structural interventions, and you come and take credit for the outcome of somebody's work, and then you say, oh, current stable that Bwaka. So what did Bwaka do? Bwaka build new dime? Bwaka build new dime? You tell where he got but new dime you can do? So where now? What did Bwaka do?
Even the ones that were under construction in the southeast, and I think Bon County, have come to a standstill.
And then you have just accepted to be thinking small, and people are treating you like that and making fun out of you. So these are the things, right? So when Liberians stood up, they stood up because they know that 2 years has passed, millions and millions have been raised, over $1 billion, right? That this government has expanded, but yet still, we cannot point to anything that you say out of the over $1 billion for the period that Bwaka has been in office that the country has managed to raise and executed. This is what we can point our hand to that started and got executed under Bwaka. That is where the conversation is. The conversation is not where the programs and projects that they came and met that have completed, and then the outcomes, the results are showing, and then you say, oh, that's what you've done. The money that were raised while you are president, right? That were utilized. So we are asking you on the products of those proceeds. What did you use them for? For useless travels? For fat salaries? Look at what the Senate is raising right now. Senate is raising a concern for an unapproved, illegal increment in salary. So secretly, you go ahead. You have a country where the finance minister collude and connived with the executive mansion, and they institute salary increment, whooping salary increment for top ups in the government. When the law is clear that these things has to go to the legislature. This is happening in your country. And that's what people are standing up. And you sit there and you say, the country is better, and this is this, and this is that. So why are you so lazy? You don't read, you don't go anywhere, you don't travel. And what's the worth of your own education that you have? And I saw folks stood in the University of Liberia compound provoking Liberians that came out to protest. And then I witnessed David Kwe Nange led a group of thugs to begin throwing stones at protesters. And I did not see any effort on the part of the police to stop them from stooning the protesters. Right? The world saw it. We all witnessed it. It happened. That means there is a state-approved and state-sponsored terrorism against people who oppose the regime, no matter the number, no matter the size, but that the state supports terroristic actions against citizens who feel disenfranchised. That alone is a mark of serious trouble in the country. And that's what we're talking. Have you ever seen that? When you feel in the country that things are okay for you, you cannot compel everybody to feel like the way you are feeling. So you have got no right to want to impede the exercise of other people's franchise or rights. You got no right. And the police, but the police stood there and witnessed criminal behavior. No. And nobody's talking about that. PLLA has not said anything about that. And all of the so-called independent or whatever, they've not said anything about that. They've not condemned that. Right? Do we need a society where the country, the citizens will be pitted against each other and us versus them? And you think it's normal? What rights do they have? Don't Stafford stage protests in this country? Have they not staged protests? Have their protests not equally impeded free movement and other things? Have anybody stood them? The audacity to free to go ahead and take rack and start stoning people, that means there is no blockade, there's nothing that preventing you. Have the free will. The state created the atmosphere for these talks, UP's talks, right? Organized by Dillon and Yombly and Jeremiah Kuhn to stone at the protesters. No arrest was made from there because that was provocative. That was provocative. They put it on the street. They did not enter as a public area. You have no right to stone them. We witnessed that yesterday. So the level of intimidation that happened with the protester was even beyond the police. You saw the police come out with machine guns, right? Machine gun, displaying machine gun, being brutal, right? Harassing the protesters. What was all that for? To muzzle the people, right? So you are succeeding in doing that. And because times are hard, people are more worried and concerned about what they have to get for themselves and put on their table. They decide to stay away. But when people stay away, it does not erase that there is a problem with the material condition. From January to December, all the reports that we've read here and other radio stations have read, none have painted a progressive picture of situation in Liberia. So when you suppress people and you intimidate them, then that means the country is happy. That means the country is okay. No, the country is not. And nothing, no degree of intimidation can change that. Because when your folks go to the legislature, they inform the world, inform the country that today in Liberia, we have state-owned enterprises that are unable to contribute a penny to national government. How can the country be okay and businesses are moving, revenues are coming in, but yet the state-owned enterprises cannot contribute a penny? But PLLA will call on radio and say the country is better than 2 years ago. But the 2 years ago you talk about, right, the CDC time, right? CDC recorded the highest Freeport of Monrovia contribution in a calendar year to the national budget, 9 million. That happened then. But today that they are unable to contribute a penny in the minds and feelings of people, the country is better today. So how is the country better today, but the country is unable to raise money to pay, to contribute, that will go and benefit his own kinsmen in Nimba? Huh? In essence, he's saying those that are suffering, those that lack basic essentials across the country, basic social services across the country, is okay for them. Let them be there. For those of them who agree and visit the Ministry of Finance and collect whatever envelopes regularly, right? It's okay. You see the tools are changing. You see the people that they're inviting to the Ministry of Finance, media people, journalists. By 2026, I'm telling you again today, by 2026, you start to hear voices changing. Because not everybody can stand it. When you listen to my good friend Vandana Patrick today, how do you hear him sound? When Vandana organized protests just recently, and you hear him today, right? So you know what is happening behind the scene. But again, folks, all we can say is that
you think Vandana is being like, yo, man, you follow that, you want to expose your man as well.
Oh, can you?
You got it?
I listen to him, but everybody know these are things that we've said about Kanye. You know, there's nothing more than saying that Kanye is a worthless and a worthless educated man. Anybody who education cannot give them independence, cannot give you independence of thought, independence of direction, right? Because if you're educated, you're supposed to find direction for people, but you're unable to find directions for yourself. It's the wind that carries you, right? So once everybody's singing praises here, then you go there. So that's how people like Kanye are. But generally, folks, the protest yesterday was a success. You see, I listened to some of the expressions, and I was keen on the expressions from the different interviews with people who had gone there and why they were there and the things they were saying. They were all facts. They were all living realities. They were all living conditions that they were expressing. But you have a journalist there, a big journalist goes there, and at the conclusion of the protest, called in and said, the protest, in fact, there were more journalists out there. So is the success of a protest measured by the number? So when you have 10,000 people come and protest, that means the protest. But I thought it's about the grievances.
Let's look at the failed December 2019 protest, the We Are Step Down protest. Was it attended by Liberians as they expected? Let's look at the December 2022 protest, the Retire Suffering protest that ended in morning getting missing. Was it the way they expected? How many persons attended those protests? And I think January 7 or another protest.
January 6.
January 6 protest was held. So the thing is, you don't understand the sources. You don't understand what should be described as sources of a protest.
But the messages of those
opportunity
went out, right?
The opportunity of Liberians, or the decision by Liberians to get out there in the street, whether one person single-handedly standing up as in the case of Achipompom, or whether a group of institutions coming together or individuals coming together to express grievances. So the fight is things are not normal in the country. So whether that 10 persons went out to say things are not normal, things are not normal for those 10 persons. And including, they could just be seen as the spokesperson of the actual number of individuals. Well, for people like the one that we see and we know to be saying the kind of things, and these are people you can clap for. You see them, you say they are good kind of people, they are good journalists. And the people that they feel like, yeah, these are the independent investigative journalists. When people say these things, imagine if you are going to be Abu or Hagar saying this, doing a Unity Party protest. At that time, we've lost credibility, we've lost everything, we are belly driven, we are this, we are that. But anyway, go again.
So that is it, folks. Our job is to advocate for structural changes, for a society to address the key issues. For example, quite recently, I listened to a report. They said the rehab center graduated some 100 addicts, and then when those addicts came out, they kind of went back to the actions because they're like no sustainability plan. So when you finish training people the business skills, they come out. Where do they find it? Even the people who are not addicts can't find anything to do. So it's a cycle. It is a cycle. And that's what that has to be addressed. There is money there for it. And people are allotting the monies to themselves. And when you find other people talking, look, people are speaking to the material condition of their present realities. And you cannot be pacifying that with the past. When people confronted the issues in the past, they dealt with it. And when we are here today, there are issues, they talk about it. But for Pele to be saying that, oh, people should or can ignore whatever they are going through today because he has an opinion about the past or he has a sentiment about the past, is absolutely unfair. Right? So when people agitate, they're agitating based on what they're confronted with today. And for the most part, the merit and demerit of people agitation is not rested with another third party. It's with themselves. They know why they're agitated about, right? And when they speak on the basis of their agitation, to be fair, you do a full assessment and then you can make an opinion as to whether it is right or it is wrong. And see what the guys do in the place that, oh, the country will make progress, the country will make progress. So pretty much tell me, right? Give me a measurable, verifiable, and data on the progressive trend of the country, the progress that it is making. Look at you today. The things you call progress are things that were inherited and that came out. You're going on RRA rule. You're talking about the seat, the non-permanent seat. This aid, you've lost USAID. You Mercy Corp, all the other people, you're losing them. I don't call that other people. Last time we're talking about the one that helping the nurses and things.
How you call them? Plain Liberia. Plain International.
You're losing these people. But folks, let's hear your thought.
And then yes, you can continue to play your cash giveaway. We could be doing 2 draws in a row: 077610 1041040 86 500 1041040. Or if you want to play your cash giveaway, the code is *255*1#. *255*1#, or *255*1#.
Should protest be about the number or be
let's
about the
talk to
message?
This person. Good morning.
Good morning to Freedom FM 70, and good morning to my peace-loving people of the Republic of Liberia, and good morning to you, dear brother Abu Shari, along with brother Higa Gonda, is still in Liberia. The name remain constant essential AF command once again. Brother Abu Shari, thank you very much for your work you are doing for this country. And we all know the reality, present reality. We got to go to Papi Musa or wherever place to tell Liberian people that we are suffering. But let me speak on the issue of the Mano River project they have come up with. After we have beat on there, they come up with big lags. No, the government just feel like Liberian people are stupid. We are more watching the daylight in power. Whenever they spoke mayor or government, then they have to go down the circle, come on. You always get reckless, like it can't even make sense. How can you say the project, the villa project in Lofa County, the Puya district, is the MRU project, Mano River project, where in Saudi is not in the note, Africa Coast is not in the note, Guinea is not in the note. What compared to Mano River, they don't know the content they are speaking for? No. Walker is so criminals, he is so wrong. And Israel will just Walker will go for state. All of the property they are building, they do their mansion. We're not stupid. We're not stupid here. If you not understand the Mano River or the Mano River basin, we will get it far into there. We're not stupid. We are more clever and more educated than they are in power.
Okay.
But tomorrow Israel will judge us. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk to another person from this other line here. Good morning.
Good morning, hey guys. Good morning.
People, babies are getting missing now.
Morning, Peter, sir.
Morning.
Thank you for the recognition. Oh, we're there yesterday. When it's possible for one to be there, I will be there. Because you know what happened? There was.
Hello. Let's talk to somebody else. Peter, sir, your line is morning.
Hello, Abu Ega.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, this is Jeff Mutara Kumar calling from District number 15.
Okay.
Abu, it is time for a lot to stand for the right. Because in not about 2029, we're talking about even those stand again to resist. Blocker against you in this country here. There will be no 2029 for us. Because you see what is happening everywhere, down water yesterday, everywhere on the state police were deployed there. So Lucas, it meant it. If we allow people to succeed tomorrow, 2029, they're going to break the technical election. So it's not time for you and myself, for the public, that feeling the weight, that feeling the things that we're going through. Sleeping no longer. It's time for the wake up to say no to Baga and gesture. If we don't do that, in country, we will go to the place on the daily basis. This is what is happening. Because you have seen a lot of NGOs are there, they are closing down a battle and live in the country. If we can only make the country miserable for Baga and gesture, you will find that no investor will come in the country. You then will come to that say, but you're not listening. If it's a broad want to do something, then they wake up now before it gets too late.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. 0776104104 86 500 104. The code for you to win cash here as well is *255*1#. *255*1#. Reply with the currency you want to play from and win up to 10,000 Liberian dollars here this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Ega.
Morning.
Abu.
Go ahead, you live.
Okay, I'm Pastor Samuel Kupo from Harvard. Thank you for the discussion this morning. It is important for us to be able to talk on these issues. Yesterday, one Sunday is something that we have to, get a thank you, because there are many people who have genuine reason to come out, well, because of the fear.
But for mother and others, want to say thank you to them, bravo to them. And then the next thing is those people who are sitting and making mockery out of those that were out there yesterday is one of the things that I really, really see that, you know, it's really bad. I don't know how you guys are taking the country to be like, you already get a job in your office, then you mocking people. You think that there's no reason for which we should protest. That's what he's saying. And those of them are in government making mockery. They are sitting in offices that past government initiated the building and building. They're sitting there, sitting in those offices, sitting in those buildings and thinking and saying that the past government did nothing. Look at we are in December. The president liked Christmas tree. For what reason? For what reason are you liking Christmas tree? To do what with Christmas? Nothing there about Christmas. The Christmas can start before even before we even get to the city, you can start feeling it. But this time around, last year or year before last, just with that time, we are pastors. I know what we need to get. I'm not boasting about that. It's not only that, you know, that there was only that, you know, for pastors just go get it. For religion, especially when I celebrating the Christmas. Oh yeah, go to the church. How many pastors can go there? Maybe they get a click. I don't know about that. But for us, we have zero reason to protest. But they are making the content like if you want to protest, you must not protest because they will kill, they will fire up land border, they will rob young people, they will do the scaring people for one reason.
Okay.
So they are doing it like we shouldn't protest. That is okay, and that is not true.
All right.
They are running the content on a very terrible path.
All right, Samuel. Star 255 star 1 hash. Morning.
Good morning to Abu Studio.
Morning. Go ahead.
The chairman's created and motorcycle from Nabati West.
Go ahead.
It is very essential. Yesterday, the project was very essential to the Liberian. Send this as a caveat to the United Party and other Liberians. Sometimes when I hear Liberians say 2029, United Party will rig the election, it really gets to my soul and it really hurts. United Party do not have the guts, do not have the ability to rig any election in the country. It's not like we just keep on war and at times when I explode, there was no internet, and there was nothing like that. That's really why Starify, Editook, and we just keep on war. So everybody will want to go back. But this come around, if United Party see that they are violent, they are not violent. You don't buy violent in the store. The same way they are violent, I would say will be violent. Children are like blood and sweat. We're not sitting here for one old regular public and oil and be suffering. We must have to pay our money. We're suffering. Suffering high. Even the $1,000 on the we're suffering. Our children are not in schools. Then we'll sit down here and about the United Party will raise where we will not sit here and have it a call for all to go back to the dining room, but we're not sitting here for somebody around oil. It can't work. It will not work. It will not work. United Party have no authority over violence. You don't have no authority over violence. So much time to call it the whole United Party will rig election. They have no authority. We'll go to the election. We'll do our election. So thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so kindly. Star 255 star 1 hash is a code that we come to give money to those of you who have been playing. Morning.
Morning.
Go ahead. Morning.
Yeah. I'm
Go ahead, Mary.
Let us go ahead. We're having family desktop here. You need some more time. Who came protest today that bring a first looting in our generation? Let them go ahead. Time is not your friend. One day, the time will be over. Let them do what they do. They started Namwe my name. That my nephew. Starting is don't put yourself in public for this kind of thing. Started Namwe.
David Nangbe.
Okay, bye for now.
All right.
David Nangbe.
Morning.
You go ahead. Other people express yesterday you did yours. Nobody threw you a stone. David Nangbe, you went there, you threw stone and threw it at their friends. History with John, everybody, my brother. You see the content for y'all.
Your facts are correct. You want to stay policing. So, how can the police who want to stay policing will take the citizen as enemy? But yesterday, I said, they did the best that they could ever do. Because yesterday, it was going to attack our president. We two of be on the why they attacking all the people who be attacking all the people the children too. Why that plan against Ghana because we still back Ghana will attack our family, will attack our family too. Why would we keep all the town petition to the president any big crime?
Okay. Thank you. Let's talk to somebody else. Star 255 star 1 hatch. Please extend that.
Hello.
Morning.
Yeah. Good morning once again, Abu. This is Alfonso Kamara. I want to speak on the issue of protestation. No, unit partisans don't play mockery out of their very self in their very self offices. Protest is not need multitude of people turning out in the street, but it's about messages. Only God has presented that they are so sophisticated, and they are not. They are not listening to anything. They are elementary. They are limited. No, unit party is the unit party that was sophisticated. But now let's so-called irresponsible people group that say the one thing they call that say parties. No, so the people are being set across the board internationally. It's not many people to come out in numbers, but about message, and the message are being sent. And you can lie to come to power. You can campaign all lie, but you cannot campaign to lead. You cannot lead the people with lying. You cannot govern this country with lying. I say you must work. You are so criminal, and you can't allow them. They are criminals. They are not still that the people are stupid. They are not stupid. We're waiting for the 2026.
All right, let's talk to this person. Morning.
They were started by millions of people taking the street. They just took or dedicated one young man and still because that was his name was Mohammed Bouazizi of Tunisia. Because of the repressive nature of that government, the tyrannical nature of that government, that has set the shit ablaze. That was brought about the RC and brought many governments down. So maybe those guys are not doing their research. They're not reading that why when they see group of people going to protect what their government is doing at the field is, it is repressive, mock at them. But for me, I would say, even your one person will be saying that one person will be me. This government is a tyrannical government, is a repressive regime. So any repressive regime, there is more, Muru Abarani. And that Muru Abarani is protest.
Okay.
So even when I'm not in the street, I would say something must change. This country must not remain a street. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. So for those of you playing your cash giveaway, you play star 255 star 1 hatch for 25 cents USD or $50 Liberian dollars. You stand a chance to win up to 10,000. Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Eka, and good morning, Abu. This is Pretidius, the way I join you from Congatan resident this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Abu, let me say thank you to all of the people that went for the protest. And Abu, the opposition community needs to rally this coming 2026 in normal political activity. They need to rally. The CDC has to stand her ground to start rallying and start going political, against the United Party or else. What we foresee coming that the government is now inputting lots of arms and ammunition is going to turn out for the CDC and the other political party, opposition political party, as something bad. And it's not a joke. The party oppositions must not take it lightly with Unity Party. They must start going political. Why CDC is sleeping? But the party chairman, they are not doing the normal political thing that the people used to do around here. Why is it being cool? If that Yanga cannot be the political party chairman, then you give the most account grade. Then you give the most account grade. And you can take all the party chairmanship so we can start to do the normal political activities. Thank you for the platform this morning.
Thank you. Today is Jangaku birthday, in fact.
Thank you very much.
No. You can't do all like this. Go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the show. But I just want you to continue playing the exposure of Kanye on Santos. Since before yesterday, when I on the show last night, they continue playing it. Let people know that Kanye has been paid to be backing you in the party. Thank you.
Okay. Can you? Who embarrassing that much? Hello.
Morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, morning.
Go ahead.
But we know that all the people here talking that they're getting paid.
Mhm.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my frustration here is I mean, what Arizona Cummings and Verde doing in this country, the all opposition leaders, what are they doing? They relax. They're not putting this government feet on fire. They are mounting no pressure. So they're waiting for 2029 to come before they start campaigning around, sharing rest on people because the people love right.
No, listen, when they get ready to do that, that's the politicians, okay. But the fact is, each time any group of Liberian citizens organically organize themselves to send out a message, is a plus, it's good. That means the people are telling you, in spite of your suppression, that you are not leading correctly. So it's a good thing. The other day, the blind people were there, right?
Yeah.
The blind people were there, and they tear gas them. But the message is still there that the blind people are not happy. And the president was compelled to suspend the guy. He had insisted several times that they were not going to move the man because the man are UP disabled. But he was constrained because the blind people were categorical that they were not going to leave the street and they were going to come back.
Yeah, so this government is not taking protest serious. They're not taking it serious. The security intention is want to see people on street. Yeah. So whether they throw around, they're not throw around, they will just create that tension, to shoot people. So those opposition leaders, they need to stand strong, and speak out. Let them speak out. Because if they don't, 2029, this rich reggae, and Uncle Sam sitting there, Uncle Sam looking at them, Uncle Sam is going to support this regime.
Thank you.
They are not listening to the opposition. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so kindly. Let's talk to. Yes, I got it already on the stuff. Let's talk to international.
This David Quinn Nambe video will embarrass you, David. You forever regret why you have to taste tune and start chewing your fellow. Go ahead. Your fellow citizens because you disagree with them.
I have a question for you all in the studio to ponder over. Do you think anybody who supports this government or unity party will come out and tell the government that, hey, Liberians who are in opposition have their inalienable rights to protest and you should not stop them from protesting peacefully? And secondly, before I conclude, do you think anybody who supports CDC or who are in opposition today will come out and say it is fair for you all to protest, or Mobile Malo should not be the one to lead a protest, considering the kind of demeaning thing he said about his leader when you all were in power? You remember he said he saw George Weah and like a cow leading one another.
So listen now. I don't want you to leave. Hello.
I'm not going to leave.
No, don't leave. So let me answer your question.
My
now.
name is Elston and Legend. We said.
Hey, but wait now. Let me answer your question. Hello, right?
Okay, I'm listening.
You don't need anybody's approval to tell you whether people should be allowed to protest or not. What you need is the Constitution. So what does the Constitution say about that?
Let me ask
No. What does the Constitution say about? What does this Constitution? If you want to be civil and constructive, we'll have the conversation, right? You ask a question that told you that you do not need. Hey, my friend, listen to me, my friend. Right? You do not need. You do not need somebody, whether you pace or sedition, to say, oh yeah, people should be allowed to protest, right? You need a constitution. So I'm asking you, what does the Constitution say? So I ask you, what does the Constitution say? Then why are you asking? My man, tell me off, man. Tell me off. Bye bye.
Let's talk to somebody else here. Good morning.
Good morning, Good morning to you guys this morning. How you doing?
Go ahead. We okay.
Yeah, my name is James Bade, and I'm the chairman, of Veteran Defense Agency 16 in Kuta. Let me make people to understand. The people to get in the street so it can be recognized. It's only there to tell the international community that the government is, not performing according to the expectation of the citizen. So, as a civil society organization, as representative of the citizen, they have to come out and tell the government that you are not performing. And set the precedent, to make a change as a government. You see what is going on? If there's a breakdown in the economy, the citizens suffer. So people need to come on. This is not organized by politicians. renewable energy, the youth empowerment, the support to farmers, the support to climate change, offset and all of it. Almost the too much on the some more million United States that they are going to cut down all of this. So where are we going? So we are saying that because we expect that next year will be serious dialogue and this year, so that we need to come up. All right? There's a civil society organization. So even when a 50% come up, that is enough. We say kudos to them. They have much as no discrepancy. It's not. They have already shown to the international community that this government is not performing.
Okay,
And we shouldn't expect the government. We shouldn't expect the government to perform next year. They will not do anything. Since for the past 2 years, they didn't do thing for the Nigerian people.
Okay.
They come in here until now they are end of the table. That we just raking and eating.
All right. Thank you very much. So let's play David Quay Nangwe video when he mobilized talks to choose tunes. And this is important for the record to have it so that you know he is a staunch and an ardent UP follower, right? So when Liberians who feel disenfranchised, right, decided to take their grievances to the government for the government to address, David got inspired to take stone and throw it. So the question becomes, is David more Liberian, he and his cohorts, are they more Liberian than others, right? Several times David Quay Nangwe joined the Unity Party when the Unity Party was organizing and executing protests here. They would wear their youth league paraphernalia and join protest stations. Nobody threw them with stone, right? So the same moralists that were saying during the January Independence Day protest that SUP organized, the same moralists that were condemning the CDC COP young people, the same moralists are sitting today, and this is clearly seen. This is clearly seen. Unlike what happened with Susulu, nobody saw anybody, right, that they can identify and say, oh, that they're COP member, COP. But then when you saw David Quay Nangwe and others taking stones, tuning other Liberians, and those moralists are not saying anything. So you see how divided the country is, right? So when these people reach a point where they realize that it is us versus them and they hold together, right? So what are you going to be seeing? You're going to be seeing people going after each other. People going after each other. Who's breeding that? It's the president, it's the government, it's the Unity Party. Play, let the people see. Counter protest. They want to come in. You get job. You get job. The other people don't get job. They ain't say nothing.
So these are staffers
when
of
you
the.
move from there, you go and start talking to the people.
They want to come in. So these are staffers of the legislature showing stone at the protesters. You can see.
You know that play got a lot of right. Let the record
giving
the instruction. He lives
showing stone at the protesters.
Giving the instruction that they should.
But before then, there were exchanges of words.
There's no way you can run away from this. They will always have video and we're always going to play this.
To be tuned.
Is this healthy for our democracy? This is intolerance.
The very capital of Europe.
This is intolerance. This is unacceptable. You see, up to now, no police went there in any way to say, let's stop what people are doing.
We are working, the police are still watching. We are working in the interest of the police.
But if it was the protester that was going to be throwing stone there, it's going to be an issue.
But this is the very same police that went to red light and asked the citizens to engage in, to lead the action that the government is supposed to be taking. So the very police that can go and stay and allow surveillance to enforce the law in their own way, that the very same police. So the police are standing with their face shield and everything that is needed to protect themselves. They are standing, and an individual is standing giving instruction for the laws to be violated, for actions against the interests of our peace and the democratic tenets of our country, for action of such to be taken. The police standing. They are standing there watching. admiring those who are violating the rights of others. Nothing is being said. I mean, when you always hear me making reference to what is happening in Uganda, this is similar thing that we are giving birth to in our country. These individuals, the police and the government are doing this, and nothing is being done by the citizens. Nothing is being done by opposition political parties. This is going to give birth to what would be those very guys could do tomorrow in terms of rigging elections or beating on opposition leaders.
You know the reason I don't like to give currency to that whole Uganda thing and trying to apply it in Liberia directly, because there are too many factors, But anyway, you're right to some extent, right? But issue by issue, turn by turn, year by year, this is Liberia in 2 years after election. How Liberia becomes 3 years after election will be different. How Liberia becomes 4 years after election and 2 years to new election, the atmosphere will be different, the energy will be different, and all of that going. So now, this is David Koye-Nangbe. The height of his intolerance, along with all of the other Unity Party elements that were throwing stone at the protesters, right? And I saw someone calling the protesters out and asking that, the protesters should have been peaceful, and then somebody wish you God booking and all of that. But nobody has called David Koye's actions out. The living is okay. That's the unfair nature of how things are. But mind this David Koye-Nangbe was an opposition like during the 6 years of the CDC period. He will join every protest. He will call on every radio station. You insult the president. You insult the president's parent and everything. That was their template for opposition campaigning. Insulting we are parents, we are wives, and all of those. That was the template. They were the one, and they were the one, right? But while David was in opposition like that, they were living with Nyanti. They were living with Nyanti. You go in Dole community, right? One young man in Dole community, he will go unable to rent his own sleeping place. You be living and sleeping like ain't know what regular young boys do. With seditious though. Be sleeping with them, living with them. So imagine if they had gone, what we would have done yesterday. So you see the mindset, you see the approach, you see what the politics has turned into. So you ought to be careful. There's a man who lived with seditious in Dole community, and they fed him as friends that only have political disagreement. But today, while his party is in power, he's throwing stones at seditious. So imagine if those tools were replaced with guns, they will kill people. It tells you how David has become radicalized against his fellow citizens. And that's what the Unity Party does. It indoctrinate and radicalize these people and turn them into terrorists against their fellow men. So when you see UPIS addressing seditious in condescending manner, in a humble fashion, it is because of the level of manipulations that have happened with them. They're prepared to take up arms. They're prepared to eliminate seditions. That is the attitude that's in the country right now. David Koye, of all people, who there are tons of CDC officials that can call this line and say, oh, yeah, but we'll reach out to the Peking. Because in spite of our political disagreements, we're all one people.
That's how sedition started.
The police were there. It is the responsibility of the police, right, to control whatever actions, but not for you to mobilize UPIS to stand in the compound of the legislature and begin to throw stones at these people. Why if you have a gun? So when they tell you And this is the same way, the same manner, the same faction that Queen Johnson and others mobilized and sent people to kill Joshua the other time. Right? So assuming that was escalated and they're going to kill some people because these people were radically mobilized and energized to just inflict any kind of harm on the protesters because they are so angry.
And that's why, because they were working in the interest of the government, that's why they had to use the Capitol building. They had to use the Capitol. And if anything, from the opposite, or those who were protesting yesterday, if there were going to be any action, Abu, the government would have gone behind those who started that action. They would have gone after those who reacted. So, like in the case that they all now the arson. Today, the very individuals who started this entire thing about the hooliganism at the level of the Capitol building, they are nowhere near investigation. Those who were in the confine of the law are the ones today they are going after. So yesterday, the David Quay man had to use talks, and then the government allowed them access. Mind you, every section day or every day there are police assigned to all of the entrances of the Capitol building. Those police officers were there yesterday. Even the riot police that came there that was at the scene yesterday to ensure safety and other things, they were there. But they did not say anything when the people were using the premises of the Capitol building to carry out lawless action. The police stood there, seeing those actions and doing absolutely nothing because it was in the interest of the government. It was a premeditated and well-planned and calculated attempt by the government to breed confusion amongst those who have gone out to protest. The number we saw, and it was both ways, right? So the police officers were confronting the protesters on the main street, and then you have talks from the University of Liberia compound that were stoning at the protesters, and the police was watching. You have UP talks led by David Quay Nangbe that were stoning the protesters from the Capitol building in. And in the minds of a lot of people, it's justified. Right? It's justified. And the police are supposed to be there. Part of the responsibility of the police is to regulate criminal behavior. So when people who have got no issue, the protester did not confront the UL, they did not go to the Capitol building, right? They have the right under the law to address their government, and that's what they were doing. And then you got mobilized to stone them, and you feel accomplice on behalf of a government that's completely rocket in its dealing, and you think it's okay. Our job is to raise these things so that people see it. This is not the first time. In real life, we saw the police did similar thing, and people try to tribalize and religionize that thing to escape the failures of law enforcement. Again, we've seen the repeat of that. So whenever any action, and most of those who were in the UFS doing that thing are all supers, so to speak. It may not be the leadership of SUP, but they're all supers. Now, severally, SUP have staged protest actions in this town. They've chose tools, they've blocked movements, they've destroyed people's property. No other party have stood on the side and chose to back at you. There has always been between you and the police, and others who even condemn the police repressive response to you. So if you are a revolutionary organization or you're a member and affiliate of a revolutionary institution, is that a revolutionary attribute to join hands with the regime and oppress and suppress the marginalized? This is it, David.
David, today you feel you wore your tie, you enjoy, you went in the UP child, you celebrated, you say, yeah, that Molo I wanted to stone, in fact, that the man wanted to, that Avin Wisa are going for. Today, you are doing that. And you're on tape, you're on video, you're playing it, you're there. There's no way you can deny. And you're giving instruction, you're going inside, well organized and executed. And the police were there. I want to play it one more time and we'll open the phone lines.
So after this, we'll come back here and do a draw, and the code is *255*1#. *255*1#. For those of you playing from a LRD account, it's $50, or from a USD account is 25 cents. But the more you play, the better your chances are to win this money. We'll come back after this. We hope to do a draw, at least 2 in row. But let's go. You got it on? You ready?
Staffers of the. They want to come in. So these are staffers of the legislature showing soon at the protesters. You can see these are staffers of the legislature showing soon at the protesters. But before them, there were exchanges of words between the two groups before stones begin to be tuned. This entire area.
Okay, so that is it, folks. Let's hear your view, right? Intolerance or democracy? Well, what is it? What's the best way to describe the action? David, you're a young man. How much do you get from the government that you're prepared to create this kind of image and picture for yourself? How much do you really get? 2 years. How is the David Queen language of today different from the David Queen language of 2 years ago? Good morning. I'm okay. Let's hear you.
You see that very good I was showing to our son yesterday, and I think someone very put him to boy after
Okay. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104. Keep playing a cash giveaway on *255*1#. Okay. Any moment from now, we'll do the draw and pay our first set of winners. Good morning.
Hello?
Morning. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, Higa. You know, let me tell you something. What they did yesterday, you know, if the protection had intention of declaring or still cases on the people yesterday, then which means that the government they are preparing for things to happen also in this country. But we have nothing more to say. We tell the people that come to the line, we tell them that chancellor left for years. I all get to tell them. We're not going to go, but we tell them that chancellor left for in this country. That's all I get to say this morning.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu Higa. Once again.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my research is telling me that guy is from Darussalam's office. And the one is correct. I still need to correct it on that.
I don't care whichever office is coming from, but it is known that they were organized by elements associated with the UP Alliance.
Exactly. If that is the case, why you release any, you know, or anything on the internet that contain what, because those were the morals of yesterday. Those are people who were advocates, who were saying all kind of things. if a guy will come from his office and be so intolerant and go against all of them, right? Inflation all of them, right? And at the end, we are not hearing anything of condemnation. And that speaks volume. That is my own point. It is true. It is established that he came from his office and it's something else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Mikey, calling from my background.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Father, and I good morning. You know, there is something that we should consideration. I don't know whether you rather observing it, but there should not be a strange thing to see the police not partaking in the protest. Look at what this guy was talking. The police were in favor of it. Because if the police were not in favor of what the guy doing, they should have been action. But the police were on a mission and the guy doing what he do. So you think the police will take action against this guy? But I don't know the theory and order. Their time has been
But you don't need rocket science to tell you that the police were in favor of it, because if the police, like you said, were in favor of that, they needed to take action. But they were standing surrounded and looking at the guys doing what they were doing.
And the point here is that how will you be sent on a mission to do something and you look the mission that you are sent to do, somebody try to help you in the process? Will you not be pleased about it? So the police were pleased that people helping them in the process to execute their mission. But one thing that you know that when we are all in a group, everybody knows one another. Whatever they are doing, we are seeing things well.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning.
Morning, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Go ahead.
I think particularly people you know, I want to do a very tolerant kind of politics. Because for me, I see politics, we all need to share our idea. I always say our parents come from multi-party democracy. So when you come, we all need to do it. I'm going to decision whether you need anybody. Then you imagine you car, in my working place, in my shop soon. Then that's how to me it's vision. And here my job is doing my car, I do better. So for me, that's supposed to be when you go.
Is it the man I want to drive to you?
No, I'm not saying God, the man next to me.
Next to you in what thing? Because you come in me and say, let's see, he's not a boss man for somebody.
You got boss man.
You boss man where? You hungry? You passing all curious that you say you boss man.
Oh, you got
what place boss man at? What place boss man at? Move where man. Morning.
Morning, go ahead. You say you are?
Okay, so this is the voice of Richardson and I'm calling you this morning from Anna.
Go ahead.
Thank you for having me on your show. Well, Abu, you know, I just sat and I watched the video and I began to laugh in my spirit to see young people and use against their fellow young people in the interest of politics. Okay, don't laugh. One thing we must understand here, Abu, that nobody has monopoly over violence. The only thing that all of us will pray for is to keep the peace and maintain the peace of this country.
That's all.
Because this country will not progress in the absence of peace. You understand my point? So if young people like David Kuye and others will gain themselves on to go against protests yesterday, David Kuye and others were having protests all over the country and nobody ran against them. Nobody intimidated them. There was no other faction.
Because you're a solution, you're scared, you're peaceful people.
Today, I'm going to see for young people, even for on campus, people who were yesterday that were fighting regime in the interest of the ordinary people today, they are now forming alignment with the regime to oppress the same people that the quote-unquote advocated for yesterday. We are going to know where, as young people, we need to be very careful. The politicians, they only have interest in their power and their money. They don't have interest in us, the young people. So if we allow ourselves to be used by these people, obviously, we are not going anywhere as the young people. So this one, I just want to encourage us, the young people, that war of politics, war of ideological difference, war of whatever, what we need to do and focus on is to maintain the peace.
That thing, that statement can only come from your institution. It
Thank
can't
you.
come from
No,
people
but
from the
it's
other
the
side.
right thing to do. I mean, that's the order of democracy. You got to be tolerant to accept other people, but to wear the attitude that any view that's contrary to yours, then you got to attack it. It's unfortunate. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so let me play this reminder from the late Councillor Tawa Bromsky.
What troubles me is to hear a sitting vice president, Joseph Baka, and his men trying to tear our country apart. We are a post-conflict nation. Our peace is fragile. What we need to do is to reconcile and bring our people together. Not to separate us, not to divide us, not to destroy this country anymore. Joe used to be my friend. He too might have been a friend of Bromsky when I came home. Since he decided to run for the presidency, I don't think Joe and I have agreed on much. But there's one thing I agree with him about. No Congo man should be president of Liberia again. But there's another side of that story, Joe. No countryman should be president of Liberia either. What Liberia needs today is a true Liberian who is most qualified to lead our country. It doesn't matter whether you are Kru or Bebo, whether you're Madingo or Kran, whether you're Bassa or Pele or Gio or Mano. If you are Liberian and you are qualified to lead the country, it is time that you step forward and lead. I don't understand why Joe will run away from his record. He's been first president for 12 years, Joe. I want to take tonight to challenge you. Come out. You and those fellas you got supporting you. Let's put our record forward. Let's put our vision forward and stop this bullshit about who Congo and who country. It is time that we put Liberia first. I heard President Sirleaf doing her annual message.
Okay, so just a little retrospect to tell you that whatever you see today, they are not happening like that, Hagar, right? The character at the helm of leadership in the country has a history of division, has a history of segregation, and he thrives in those kind of environments where there is a conversations about they and us, blue and black, green and yellow, blue and green. That's how this character thrives. But where everybody comes together and the issues are no longer about our identity, no, you'll be at the tail end. But when the debate is centered around identifying who is sedition, who is UPS, so because of that narrow conceptual alignments, people will rally behind him, not because they agree with his purpose or they agree with the character that he presents in terms comparatively on a merit basis. No, but simply because we're all UP. So we just go in there because we're all UP. And there are people that see, so you feel that partisan urge to stand by your side. And that's how elements like the overage Deacon survives. And it's dangerous. So what it's doing is it is eroding the social capital gains that billions have been invested in over the period to rebuild, reconstruct Liberia, not just infrastructurally, but reconstruct Liberia social breakdowns and re-cement the cohesions and bonds that presents an identity of a unified nation with one singular purpose. Most importantly, to build a nation that represents everybody, to build a nation that inspires hope. And you do not achieve those feats when you are bent on identity politics. What we see today is identity politics. If you see young men taking stool and stooling other people, it's because their identity vary from theirs. That is the danger of having Bouaka as president. Right? Look at Liberia. He justifies when others are denied their rights in the country. Once it is established that their identity varied from his, they're not UPs. So, oh yeah, it's justified. You've seen the police, how selective they are in the execution of their law enforcement processes. We witnessed during the CDC headquarters launch. For whatever reason, we did not see any harassment or parade at any opposition party headquarters. But when it was the Unity Party homecoming, heavily armed officers were deployed on the CDC headquarters ground. That's identity politics. The state is taking side with a political party. But there have been stronger political parties in Liberia than the UP. The two-wing party ran this country for decades. Where are they today? So it's always going to be the case. So when Bromsky uttered these words, he uttered them with a mindset of engendering a new Liberia that gravitates beyond the challenges of the past, the old order, the narratives, right? These comments and rhetorics that held up behind. It is not sufficiently reasonable that because you're a Kisime, so you have deserve the right to trample over another person's right. It does not make sense that because you're a Madingo man, so your right should be trampled upon by others. No, that is not the Liberia that is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a Liberia where everybody rights are respected. That's what I told the caller. And, you know, that guy, to leave from here and be in America and still be speaking, and you know, nonsense like that, I mean, there's a problem. Like, a lot of them make it seem like when you're in America, that means you got some superior understanding. But look at how lowly he sounded, knowing that the rights and justification for protest and peaceful assembly are guaranteed in the Constitution, are people's right. They're not subjected to regime approval. They're not subjected to anybody's approval. Once the people feel that the condition that exists tempers or hampers their welfare, their well-being, and their social security, right? They can stand up. The leadership must listen. But whenever people, and this is where the identity politic is, because they model them, because there are other people, so Bouakai and nobody in your government went to receive or listen to them, not even legislators. So the state has clearly turned its back on certain group of people. The state has been designed, programmed to listen and engage a certain group of people. And others, no, you're on your own. So you're giving room for people to feel in charge of themselves. And when that sentiment grows, when that sentiment finds certain basis to stand on, then the state will start to struggle to institute its authority beyond the partisan border. The state then will be the one struggling now to say there's a government for everybody, government representing everybody, because sufficiently you've made certain category of the citizen to feel like the government does not care about their rights any longer. The government is prepared to mobilize talks to throw stone at them when they stand up, and when they're speaking, the government does not listen to them. This is dangerous. Listen to these are peers, they are friends. They were there, they were all there, so they know each other like that. Joe is known to be a divisive element. Joe is a divisive old man who has always made his way through division, pitting people against each other, tribalism, sectionalism, right? Partisanship. Look at the country. You go to Freeport, you purge people because of their association with the past regime. You purge them. You're using people's identity and their association and affiliation to deny them privileges in the country. And you say for 6 years, it should remain like that. It should be like that for 6 years. And when they decide to come out and say, oh, we're not treated fair, you tell your talks to go and throw stone at them. And David Kwame Nangwe becomes the director of stone throwing. So nobody should talk. He says, it's okay. It's fine. When market women complain, they complain. The other day, what did we see in West Point Market? The women blocked the road. Those were not politicians. They were responding to the conditions in the market. Where is Jonathan Pelele? Right? When the LMA is suppressing and extorting from the market women daily, their businesses are not going, but every day they're putting tickets, so not 3-4 times a day. To a point where the people have to stand up, they block the entire road. Say, this is nonsense, the LMA has to stop. That didn't happen in CDC time. But you say the people shouldn't talk. So the LMA people should sit down, because in the minds of Pelele, right, the country is better than 2 years ago. The country is better than 2 years ago, but 2 years later, West Point women are saying, no, this is strange, this is unusual. Extortion everywhere. Police are extorting from road users, right? You go for services, public services, you go to public institutions, you go to the clinic, the hospitals, they're extorting money from patients. You go to JFK, you pay your money, you can, and you say it's okay. And when people try to speak against that, so that the people at the top will know that there's a problem down there, then you say other people to go throw stone at them. Then you, former BBC reporter, you take phone, you call on the radio to say it does not justify for the people to stand up for their right. Because you're okay, you're living in your house. You have the privilege to visit Bouakai, and when you're leaving from there, the envelope you leave from their way, you don't discriminate with the people of New Georgia. Look at your fence. Look at Pelele fence in New Georgia. He is completely disconnected from his neighbors. He talks to them not. He identifies with them not. He shares nothing with them. He gets in his car, go to Baka place, whatever pleasantry they share, whatever envelope he comes with, he enters his car, he reaches up, they open the gate, he enters a fence, long fence, 20 feet high. And whatever enjoyment he enjoys right there with his small family, and the people are out there in destitution. And when the people talk, say they don't have to talk. When people abuse their privilege, their voices, and use their voices because they have proximity, they use their voices to suppress the poor people and deny them their rights. Those are the issues.
Those are the issues, and it's important. The fights are glaring. We'll always just continue to speak on these things because for us, we don't believe that patriotism is only saying good things about your country or always saying good things about the country. Patriotism is about saying what is right, saying the truth, whether it is in favor or against the country. There are people who feel like you should bootleg them. You should always sink them. Then it means, yes, you are patriotic. But that's not our own take. That's not what we believe. So it is always important for us Liberians to see and understand that the rights that we have, the opportunity we have today as Liberians were opportunities that Liberians before us had. And time came and passed. Those individuals are no longer around. If you sit in a particular position today, there were several other persons before you that sat in that very position you're in today. But what happened is when we all work together to maintain the peace and progress of our country. But when there are people sitting and fighting to undermine such peace and progress, then it is terrible. And we'll always want to say these things. The police is breeding confusion amongst Liberians. The police is leading, the police that is supposed to be protecting the peace of our country, this very police is leading actions that have the propensity to undermine the peace that the police should be protecting. When you sit and give out your right, like it was done in the case of Jacob and Esau in the Bible, when you give out your right to the citizens to protect themselves, then what you are doing, you are leaving them with nothing else but to do it their own way. And when they do it their own way, you don't know what the reaction will be like. They say to every force there must be equal opposite reaction. So you can't continue to push people and you're expecting them to penetrate through the wall. It's not possible. And again, Abu, sometimes the very people we advocate for is sometimes terrible when we sit and see those things that they are involved into. You can't be there and you continue to sit and feel like me and tired or me anything they do now. No, the time for anything they do should be gone by now. This is the time that you should take your destiny in your own hands, like it was done in the case of Uganda, not Ugandans but Kenyans. There were actions that the government was taking to suppress them. They felt hurt, they got in the street and they sent out a signal. But again, people, when they are announcing protests today, people who are hungry, people who don't have it, people who have not even eaten, some of them who even wake up and don't even have an understanding of how they will even start day, the common one we can say to start your day. People who don't have that understanding, they know that the system is working against them, but for them to take action to call the system to order, no. That means I say that when they finish anything they do that, it will go to 2029. How many of you think you will survive up to 2029 with all of what is happening? Your friends could wake up tomorrow and say they won't call government attention. And when they stand up, police people will come there and shoot at them, and that shot will miss them and maybe hit you. You will be gone. You've been waiting for 2029, but you may not see that 2029. That's why it is important now for you to stand up for your right. See these people, attire with that thing. Attire. And Liberians should be tired. Take action. Call the people to order. You get one useless old man be sitting over there giving irresponsible instructions to people, and people doing things at their own will, and nothing is being done. And you sit down there, that old man future is going. That your future is spoiling so along with his own. You don't even get the future again. So he won't spoil his future along with his conclusion. You're sitting there, you feel like everything is well. Go out there today. See how many Liberians are out in the street selling. See how many Liberians got businesses and people are not buying from them. See how life has become difficult. But these things, they will not come up to say it to you. They will not agree with us that are saying it because it is working for them. It is working for them. Why the very police officers that are misbehaving in the streets today are taking 150, government officials generator taking over 3,600. There is budgetary allocation for scratch cars for them. The very home that they are living in, that they built, the government, the country resources is paying them for their own house. Paying workers, their drivers, their cook, their security. The police that should be protecting you, they are protecting them. And then you feel like everything is normal.
Yeah. And all of go, you right, you trying to. Wait, listen to them, young man. This is happening like, bro, not happening anywhere.
Bread and butter issue of Joseph Butter can speak more. Are they resting the body or are they resting the ordinary? In what way? You told me you're going to prepare $1,000. Where's the $1,000? Today I can go to bed in Congo. Today I can't afford to pay a rent. Today I can't afford to pay my justice fee. Why are you really resting? Mr. President, what I want for you? What I want for you is to rescue me. What I want for you is to rescue me. How you can rescue me? You get me a better life. I think you have a better than you. And I will go, wow. What's the problem?
So these are the views that others says probably we need to amplify the issue of staging street protests is to amplify the hurts and bring them live so that people see it. And I listened to the government announced that beginning, I don't know when, no street selling will be.
Yeah,
right?
that thing.
And I think that is showboating. Because look, that is not the essence of government policy. Maybe what they're going to do again, they're going to.
I think they said children selling in the streets.
Yeah, but that's it.
But
bulk of the people selling the street
but that entire thing the government is doing, the strategy. So the government, the same thing they can do to the marketers in Red Light, in Waterside, in Douala, and every other places. The government is crafting an idea. Mind you, we got evidence of then Kennedy Boakai promising that when he becomes president of Liberia, no child will be seen in the street selling. So they are now doing it to take the radical and arrogant actions against children helping their parents in the street because things have become difficult. So they will put the police in the street to start going at the children, and people will be afraid to keep their children. They will keep their children home now. Then what they will say, they will think now is to portray out there that things have become normal because children are no longer selling in the street.
So, but that's the point I'm trying to make, right? Because the way you approach these kinds of government actions, right? You take steps to, first of all, study the root cause. What is causing this thing? And then you can be able to design on what intervention you can make. In the subsequence of those interventions, that you can come now and say, oh, okay, the government is going to be firm that this is not going to happen. These basics are available. So you have not addressed the root cause. Basically, what you're going to do, like my colleague said, right? You're going to send the police officers in the street. The scene where you chase after the motorcyclists and chase after the kids. It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be interesting. But as you go ahead to do these things, your goal is to send out a picture. Your goal is to achieve or communicate an achievement, right? I think the purpose of declaring that no child will be in the street is not to send police officers to beat people and take them from the street. It's to say that we will create the environment where nobody will send a child in the street to go sell for the things that they can get from what we have provided. So now the question becomes, what have you provided? Have you provided a job? Have you provided source of livelihood for the people? So because you have power and you are using your power, right, in repressive manner, you will go after the poor children, you beat them, you take them from the street. But the hunger will force them back there. And when the children can come in the street, the parents will come in the street to sell.
And what will
happen?
What we are going to experience from that point, Abu, is going to be the high dropout rate in schools. Because some of those children, their little contribution to their parents will go and buy the water and put in the cooler and sit by A and B, sending them to go sell it. So their contribution to their children, their parents' efforts, can contribute immensely into getting them to school. So what will happen if the government take this action that they did not even strategize? Because Abu, like you said, the government did not promise to arrogantly take children from the street. The government promised that actions that were going to be taken are going to be the action that will compel the parents to not even send their children in the street, because you can be working for good money, everything is okay, investors are in the country, money wasting, then you get a child going to go sell water in the street. No. But because the president wants to make it look like, oh, things have become normal, yeah, our children are not in the street again. So he's going to use the police. And what it's going to do is students are going to drop out of schools. Parents will have no money to take their children to school, or to even take their children to health facilities to seek medical attention, because even government institutions, government facilities are requesting money these days. This time when you go to the government facility, you not get money, you not lay the money on the table, they can't touch your child, or they can't touch you. In the midst of all of these things, the government is about to go after us, citizens, especially the younger ones who are helping their parents.
And that's why you should make sure that the parents have job. Create job. Automatically take the children on the street. But if you don't, aside from increasing the rate of dropout from school, you're gradually creating another window for increase, commercial sex.
Yeah, children will start.
So these children will definitely start to go out with bigger people who can provide.
We should definitely be the government officials.
And then you get the lack of Bill Maggie-June more opportunity to go after and abuse young 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds. And then Gregory Cuomo will ask that the DNA machine should be brought. That's what the country is sliding into gradually. But we're telling you, next year we'll come here, we'll start to have the conversation about it. So let's take 5-6 calls.
Yes.
Right.
And then,
while we wrap up
we want to
right
give
here.
money. I want to call the person, but just in a few
Okay.
minutes.
0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers. And let's hear you finally as we wind down the curtains right here on Freedom 87.9 0776 104 104 086 500 104 are the numbers to call. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning once again, Abu Sherry and Dara Higa Konda. The name remains constant and Sanso EF Kamal.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. You're very odd. No, our democracy has been heavily undermined on the watch of Joseph Yuma Boakai. The incident that occurred yesterday at the capital building, President Parker is fully and he tell lieutenants and alarmists that in a note, no part of our constitution gave that freedom or permit to government that before protesters both in the street, they should get a permit for those persons before they can get in the street, or in other words, they will have counter protester or counter reaction. It's against that bad job of our constitution. And President Boakai saw that Boakai is selling drugs and other harmful substances in a bar, they call it Negro. And also, because
okay, thank you. Tomorrow you told that Jamal Kwankun in when his brother will be here. Good morning. Good morning. I will bring on you. Good morning.
Good morning,
Go ahead.
Yes, William from Israel. What the government is doing, it is intentional, not something that is guessing here. They are doing this to tell us what will happen by the help of God during the election time. Because if you are stopping the citizen this way, maybe, sometimes when you hold the ball too high, you can put it in your hand. That's why they are doing to the citizen.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, man. Calling for people.
Go ahead.
The Liberian that we all advocating for. Liberian don't actually do nothing. Liberian don't read. Liberian don't know time. Liberian easy. Liberian not together. And can make a country develop. So you even bring government that will make things serve. Liberian needs togetherness first. Because there is no togetherness, there is no development. That's just the problem.
Yeah, but the people that are supposed to provide it, if their actions are undermining these things you're saying, it's important that we talk about it. So let's talk about what's the government doing to strengthen education.
Yeah, but because of the decision of the people, the government has to mean. Now
the government should invest in uniting the people. So what is the government doing in that?
So what happened here now is this. Once the people so lazy and they're not going to provide for themselves, government will go and beg for rest. So once you get rest now, everything is stabilized. And you see the whole problem? So I can a man who is agriculturalist now goes to a friend's house to take for rest and can store it in his house. So if this man you go to for rest, is on the rest finish, don't you think your home will still go dry? So the listener is too much, the situation is so many things. It's not government factor when you go to this whole situation.
Oh.
Every other government that was back, they say the one that was gone is good. Only the one that is.
All right, thank you. You're making very wonderful points. Let me just squeeze this diaspora call. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Abu and Hegak. Good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. My name is Rumi Musa G. Brown, and I phone in from New Jersey. You see, Abu, all of what you are discussing, this is what people saw in the field in 2023 or before the 2023 election. That these were things that are going to happen. And when Joseph Boakai took over as president, and he appointed Gregory Coleman as the police director, I can remember vividly. I called on the radio and I said the reason why President Boakai appointed Gregory Coleman as a police director because Gregory Coleman were the death squad. These guys were the ones that were being used. They were killing people. They were making an arrangement and bringing dead bodies from JFK and putting them on the street that couldn't be identified by any family member in Liberia. Okay. That was the first time in the history of Liberia that you could find a dead body where Jim Goodday Flomo will be standing and say, "Oh, we'll find a dead body here," but nobody can come out and say, "Oh, that's my family person." It was it was during that time. Now, what really puzzled me yesterday was people that was in the Capitol building fence that wanted to build to big lawmakers were the one taking stone and chunking their fellow Liberians that want to express that dissatisfaction to the government for how things are going on in the country.
Okay.
It's something that will really puzzle me.
Thank you.
But it is not a thing. So we quickly, Abu, we are saying Liberia, it is about time to put our voice forward and stand up for our right.
Okay.
Thank you, and God bless you, Abu.
Thank you very much. That's Musa G. Brown taking us home on this Thursday morning conversation right here on Freedom 87.9. Folks, this is all the time we got. Our time is up. 1 minute to go. Many thanks to all of you, our friends, our fans, our followers. From January to December, you have been here supporting the broadcast, contributing to the conversation, supporting the initiative. We want to commend you and wish you and your family a blessed holiday as you go out there to flex and stress free and celebrate with your loved ones. The Freedom Money Rise team is grateful to you. And we want to wish you Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. We will be here in January to continue from exactly where we are stopping. Our commitments are to the people, the country, and to the right thing. Oh yeah, we will never back down. So yeah, folks, we'll always come here and spend time together. My name is Abu Sherry. Together with Hagar Gonda, we serve you breakfast from Monday to Friday. Right here on the big station. Until we see you, do have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.